Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about self-concept. Do you need a good self-concept in order to manifest? And the simple answer to that is no. You don't need a good self-concept to manifest. It's not imperative in order to bring those desires into your life. Absolutely not, because we're doing it all of the time. We're manifesting all of the time, whether we've got a good self-concept or not. So that is, I call it a bit of a myth because I hear that a lot, people saying that, and I think, no, that's totally not the case. But let's now talk about self-concept and how self-concept helps you and why it's hugely important in life in general. Self-concept and self-esteem is completely different to confidence. You may be incredibly confident but have very low self-esteem and very low self-worth. So you're not, when I say self-worth, what I'm saying is you're not valuing yourself. So maybe people are treating you in such a way and you're letting them get away with that. And I said in one of my short videos the other day, because really I do think self-concept is a huge issue as a thing to move you forward in life, to improve your self-concept. The way that we accept, what we accept from people basically is teaching them how to treat us. So if you're getting substandard treatment from somebody and you are accepting that, then you will just get more of that, because they will not think that they're doing anything wrong. They will not see any issue if you're not letting them know that it's an issue. So if you're not, and I'm not talking about manifesting here, I'm talking about just general life. And it is okay to tell people if they're treating you badly, if someone's treating you badly, bring it up with them and say, actually, I'm not happy about this. I don't like what you said to me. It's not a problem with doing that. Don't think to yourself, well, I'm manifesting things, so I can't be at all negative or anything like that. And I can't say anything like that. I've got to keep it all inside and kind of push it under the carpet as if it's not there, because the thing is, it is there. It doesn't matter what you do with it. You can try and pretend it's not there, but it is there. Just because it's not on the outside doesn't mean it's not on the inside, and it's what's on the inside that's important, not what's on the outside. So that's the first thing to say. So let's talk about manifesting anything in general, and you have a low self-concept, a low self-worth. You're not valuing yourself, basically. You maybe think you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, and you're comparing yourself to other people, and you want to manifest £50,000, for example, okay? Just put that out there as an example. There is no reason that you won't manifest that £50,000 if you have been imagining it, feeling it as if it were real, and had that strong desire for it, have no resistance to it whatsoever, because you're not hung up on money or anything like that. There's no reason why you wouldn't manifest that. The universe does not care that you don't think much of yourself, okay? So in that respect, it does not affect manifestation at all. The way it affects manifestation is with people. When you are wanting to manifest, let's say you're wanting to manifest your ex back, but during the relationship you were fairly insecure, you were worried that it was going to end, you thought it was too good to be true, all of those different things that you may think if you had a pretty low self-worth. So you put them on a pedestal. They were better than you. You were always trying to reach them. You were always trying to say the right things. You were always trying to do the right things. If you had an argument, you would be the one to say sorry, because you would feel that you didn't want to lose that. So your fear of losing that came above everything else. That is a low self-worth. You are not valuing yourself. You are putting somebody else above you and saying that they are better than you and you have to reach them. That is where we struggle with self-concept. That does not mean that you cannot manifest a text, you cannot manifest a call, you cannot manifest contact, you cannot manifest a date or the start of a relationship. Of course you can do all of those things. The problem comes in maintaining it. If you have a low self-worth, you will struggle to maintain a relationship, because particularly with an ex, because you will be constantly grasping at it, trying to keep hold of it, trying to say all of the right things, do all of the right things. And in general, I have always had a fairly high self-concept. I've never been particularly confident. I am now, but I wasn't when I was younger. But I always did have a decent, I did always put a decent value on myself, and I wouldn't accept anything from people. But there has been a period in my life when I lost that for a little bit, and I kind of lost myself for a while, and I was maybe accepting things that I shouldn't have accepted, that I should have said, no, that's not me. I'm not saying that that person's doing anything wrong particularly, but it's not for me. That sort of thing is not for me. This is me. I value myself. I like to be treated with respect at all times, and why not? And that is what you're looking at here, to feel that I want to be treated with respect at all times, and I deserve to be treated with respect at all times. Why wouldn't I? So this is like if somebody ghosts you, they just disappear from your life. You try to reach out to them, there's no good reason for it, no apparent reason whatsoever, you've done nothing wrong, you've not, as far as you know, not said anything to offend anybody. The first thing I would say is, don't even think about what have I done to offend this person, and rack your brains for things that you have done, things that you have said, because the majority of the time it's nothing to do with you. It's not anything that you've sort of said. That it's generally when somebody ghosts you like and disappears, it's when you really want that person in your life and you almost have a bit of a need for them. So it's a push-pull energy. So there probably isn't anything particular that you've done or said, and I wouldn't worry about it anyway, because that will hold you back. And then, let's say 2 months later, they come back to you, they answer you again as if nothing's happened, and you just accept that. You just carry on chatting to them, yay. Brilliant that you may have manifested that back, so all power to you. You do want to congratulate yourself for, yeah, I've done that, I know that I've manifested that, awesome. But you don't give more than you get. So yes, by all means, answer them, have a bit of conversation with them, but don't give loads of yourself at that moment, because if you start giving more than you're getting again, it's because you're reaching for it, you're stretching for that person, saying that they are, oh my gosh, I've got them, awesome, now I've got to keep hold of them. No, you have not got to keep hold of anything. Everything that you want and you desire is inside of you anyway, so it's there. You can just allow it to unfold. Now, I would say if that person disappears again, okay, off you go, do your stuff, and then think to yourself, am I completely ready for this now? Because if you're really gutted that they disappear again and do that again, then you're probably not in the right place. When you have a really high self-worth, you will think, if this happens, you will just think, fair enough, your loss. You'll be disappointed, but you'll think it's your loss, and you'll think, I am better than that, and then it just won't happen, it will stop happening. But you need to get to that point. So this is where self-concept is really, really valuable to you, with relationships, with friendships, with family relationships, with work relationships, all of that, because when you value yourself, you're never trying to impress anybody else. I think that's the key here. You're never trying to impress anyone. You don't care. You like it. If somebody compliments you or says something great to you, then you love it. You think, that's awesome, that's great. But you don't want it. You don't need it in order to be validated. And I think, that's probably the key thing here. You don't need to impress anyone. And when you don't need to impress anyone, you stop trying. You have all of that trying is taken out of the equation, so relationships become easier. And what you find happens is the best relationships stay in your lives, and the ones that you've been actually quite doubtful about disappear from your life. So you're left with those really great relationships where people are concerned, you're not stretching so much, and that's when those people appear in your life. It's an energetic thing, and when you're pushing for someone, when you're pushing, they are pulling, because they can't help it, because it's the law of the universe. So, yes, be pissed off with them, be disappointed and all of that, because that's human nature, and we don't know exactly what's going on here. But the more you push, the more something will pull. It's anything. I'm not just talking about people here. If you want a new house and you're pushing for it, you'll find that, this is never happening. It's pulling. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're energetically in need of something, I don't mean because some people have said to me, oh, I've needed stuff and manifested. I don't mean needing to find your bag, needing to find your keys, needing to get to work on time, all of that stuff. That's a different kind of need. I'm talking about a need that you will not be happy until you manifest this one thing into your life, until you bring this thing into your life. That is the thing that will make you happy, because what will happen is it can't sustain. If it's a relationship, it can't sustain because you are trying to impress still. And if it's and generally it's relationships that we feel this with, and energetically we're out of whack with that other person. We want it more than they want it. So, and it will always stay like that unless you can balance yourself out and get yourself to a point where you are the most important. You don't accept being treated in a substandard way. You don't, you just don't accept it, and you decide not to accept it. So you pull away energetically, if you need to, and think, well, I'm open to this. I want this relationship. I want this person in my life, whoever it is, and I will allow them to come back. When they're coming back,
as I want to experience them. I don't want this experience. So you kind of say into the universe, whatever this is, I would say to my inner self, this is not the experience I want. I want this experience from that person. When that is ready, when I'm open to that, I'll let that in by all means. But at the moment, this is not what I want. This does not make me feel good. So anything that drains you and doesn't make you feel good, makes you question yourself, is not good for you at the moment. But when you improve your self-concept and your self-worth, none of that stuff will particularly bother you. You'll just dismiss it, and because you'll know that by doing that, it won't affect you anymore. It won't be present in your life. I mean, all of my relationships, all of the people in my life are awesome. They're all great. My family, my friends, my work colleagues, people that I work with, whether it's coaching clients, you're all amazing. Absolutely all of you. You are all. Every time I get off the phone to off of Zoom for another client, I think that person was lovely. I only seem to attract the loveliest people. There's nobody, and people that I'm working with on a professional level, they're all lovely. The people in my in the offices around me are all lovely. They just make my day. When I walk in there, we're all chatting before we start work, and I just think, how lucky am I? All of these people. And if anyone shows up in my life, I think, oh, well, they are definitely not energetically on my level. I just let them fall away. I don't think, how have I manifested them? I never go down that route. I just think, there might be some reason why they've come into my life, but if there's not, then let's just let them fall away and just don't overthink things. I think that's the key here. Don't overthink. Okay, so now I have talked about the benefits of a really high self-worth. Even if you're balanced a bit more, you don't have to have hugely high self-worth to think, oh, I'm down here, and how the hell am I going to get there? But if you just balance yourself out a little bit more, so you do feel more worthy of those things that you want and don't feel like you're stretching for them, that's great. That's a massive improvement. If you can get, I love the 50% rule, 50% better than you are now, that's great, isn't it? So looking at it that way. So how would you do that? There are several ways that you can do this, and this is where I love affirmations. I'm not one for affirming for something to come into my life, never have been, but affirmations, 2 sets of affirmations. One is how easy you find manifesting with the law of attraction. You won't believe it, your rational brain won't believe it. I said to someone the other day, and I think it was a really good analogy, when you're using affirmations and your rational brain is questioning you and thinking, what the hell are you on about? This is complete nonsense. Say to yourself, I'm filling up a box inside of me, and it's my subconscious, and all I'm doing is filling up that box, and the more I make these statements, the more it goes into that box. Eventually that box will be overflowing, and then there will need to be some more storage, and then that will have to use my analytical rational brain as storage. That's kind of what happens. So if you can look at it that way, it's a lot easier. So you're not trying to believe what you're saying. So you're setting yourself some core affirmations. Firstly, really do a week of self-love, self-worth, self-esteem. I'm starting to feel much better about myself. I'm starting to put myself first. I see the value in myself. I'm a high value person. I deserve to be treated well. I command respect from people. All of that stuff. Like I said, you won't believe it at the moment if you're suffering and you're not feeling like you have a great self-worth. But honestly, if you stick to this, and this is where I love persistence when it comes to self-improvement, because it's all about us, isn't it? So you do that for 5 minutes every single day for 7 days, okay, and then measure yourself at the end of that. Has that had an effect? Do I feel slightly different? Then go from there. Do another 7 days and another 7 days. And then once you've done, say, a month, then chuck in, I'm really awesome at manifesting. There's a video, I'll link to the video that I put here of becoming brilliant at creating and bringing those things into your life. So mixing those both together eventually, but start with your self-worth. So you're doing that 5 minutes a day, every single day when you're relaxed. Then with me, I will do that. As soon as I get into bed, I do that every single night because I love it. I just absolutely love it because I know it's having a positive effect on me. So I don't try to work out whether I think it's true or not, but after a while you start to feel it as true. So you do that. And then you might listen to a subliminal. I've got some free ones on here, and there is a self-love one on here. So you don't have to listen to mine, listen to somebody else's. But subliminals are great because they bypass the analytical mind. So they go straight to the subconscious. So the middleman is cut out. So that's 2 simple things that you're doing. But before you start, you set an intention. I am going to improve my self-worth. I am going to start to love myself more. I'm going to start respecting myself more. I'm going to become a high value person. I'm going to feel it, and everybody around me is going to start reacting to that. So you set that intention to start with, and then you set on that path. I would say once you start suggesting something different to your subconscious, you don't really need to hammer a new view into your subconscious, but it isn't going to hurt. You may just be able to suggest something. I'm at the point now where I could just, if I notice there's something there going on, anything that's blocking something, I feel, why haven't I got that yet? I will think, okay, there's something going on there, and I will talk to myself, talk to my subconscious and say, you've got a program running there, you must have, because I have not experienced this yet. I think it could be this, I think it could be that, but I'm not sure. Something's going on in there, please stop it. For me, that's enough, because I notice it. And then I use Marian's technique, the healing technique. Marian is a coaching client of mine, who told me about this, and I use this throughout my life now. If there's anything bugging me and I think, why is that bugging me, I will immediately make a statement and say that I heal it. And in the majority of cases, 95% of cases, it works for me pretty much immediately and I feel better. You can even do it like, I heal the need I feel to see this show up in my life. I love that one. I've used that on a few occasions. Or if you really don't want what you want, because you just don't want to want it, you say, I heal the desire I have for this to show up in my life. Honestly, you can use it for any statement whatsoever. It's brilliant. So that's another tool for your toolbox, and I really suggest that you do that. If you don't like the word heal, change it for release. You can change it for erase, delete, whatever. Find a word that works for you, because not all words work for the same people. It depends what you like. For me, I love that word heal. Knew it would work for me, and I've used it for like minor things as well that were irritating me, that just I knocked out in a moment. So brilliant. So that's what you do. You set yourself a plan. I'm going to improve my self-worth. If your self-worth is teetering, it's kind of like, I'm not bad, then it's not going to take much to do this. And just that mere suggestion that actually you're not putting yourself first and telling your subconscious, actually, I'm putting myself first, is often enough. But if you just make it a practice every single day, like I said, I do it. It doesn't take much. It's 5 minutes a day. It doesn't make me feel bad. Why would it? I'm just chucking stuff into my subconscious in order to build this amazing program that just keeps running and running and running, and it's running all of the time, and there's no way on earth that I would accept bad treatment from somebody or something. If something happened and I thought, whoa, that is not acceptable, then I just step away from it. And I don't feel any need to try to change that or make it better, because I know that if I really want that, then it will happen naturally by itself at some point. But I don't force anything. And I've got to that by having such an incredible high self-worth. I really do. And I am confident now, very confident actually. And I've worked at that as well, because I didn't used to be. I was very good at pretending to be, and anyone around me, that I was really confident, but I'm really not. I mean, I remember a girl at work saying to me that I was an extrovert. I just laughed. I said, oh God, I'm so not. I'm actually an introvert, really not an extrovert. And I thought, wow, I'm doing a really good job of pretending here. So I'm very good at pretending to be something, as in, if it's going to aid me. I don't mean that you should go about pretending to be something you're not, but when you're in business, you kind of need to be a bit like that. You do. You can't be like, my inner self would be really not that confident, especially if I was going for a big job or something. I wouldn't feel particularly confident, but I would feel, if I don't get it, I don't get it. I wouldn't go into that meeting, especially if I was going to do a workshop and I was going to be talking to a lot of people. No, I wouldn't be confident at all, but they wouldn't know that, you see. I'd feel the whole time that I was acting, I'd kind of put on this character and act it out, and it wasn't natural to me at all, but now it totally is. And I could really see this because on my 40th, which was 10 years ago, Jeremy filmed my dad doing the speech and everything, and I was up there with him, and it was really funny because my dad was really drunk. It is so funny, and I love looking back at that. And I'm stood there next to him, and I don't look unconfident, but when it comes to me talking, you can tell that I'm so uncomfortable. But now, like, give me that microphone, because you couldn't shut me up, honestly. Like, I would not be able to shut up. And really, you could the difference between me then and say me when my dad died, and I made a speech at the funeral, I was a different person. I didn't care. There was it was packed, absolutely packed. There were people just stood outside because my dad was a really popular, lovely, lovely man. And I was not embarrassed. I thought, wow, and that was I don't know, 3 years ago now. So I really noticed the change, and I thought, wow, I have changed so much. And I did that through intending I wanted to change and affirming that this is what I was now, but not expecting to believe it, just thinking, what harm can it do? So I know I've waffled like tremendously, and this is a completely long video, and it's probably like you know, if you haven't sort of switched off and then come back to this bit, then I'd be very surprised, because I know it is a bit too long. But it's a subject that I feel so passionate about, because I have, you know, had issues in my life, and I have, like I said, had this period of time when my self-worth was so low, and it was, you know, not that long ago. So, and I have come back from that, because, and I tell you what I thought, I remember one day thinking, I'm not having this anymore. I'm not having this anymore. Like, what the hell? And I just decided that was it. I was done with it. Feeling like that, I was going to feel different. So I really took charge of it, and I claimed it. I said, no, how do I want to feel? What kind of a person do I want to be? Do I want to wake up in the morning and feel like? And I thought, and I had this vision in my head of what I wanted to be, and I thought, that's it. That's what I'm going to be. So you just claim it. You just think, that's what I'm going to be. And no one is going to stop me from being that person. I can do that. I can do anything I bloody well like. And, you know, the buck stops with you at the end of the day for all of those things that you want. It stops with you. So if you can get there, if you can feel good about yourself, you know, worthy of all of those things that you want, you don't even have to feel worthy, because when I say worthy, it's almost like I deserve that, you know, as if that sort of strikes a bit of an air of desperation, doesn't it? You don't even feel worthy, you just know that you can have that. I want that. And if you really desire something and you want it in your life, it's because it's there for you. It's there for the taking. It's a path for you to go down. It's there. If it wasn't, you wouldn't desire it. So you just claim it and you say, that's what I want. And you get to a point where you feel so good about yourself and so strong-minded and in control of yourself. You're in control of your feelings. They're not in control of you. That's where you get it. That you just know that you can have that. You know it and you don't doubt it at all. And that goes with people as well. But you're very relaxed about it, and you think, when the time's right, that person will show up in my life, and you just leave it at that. So on that note, thanks so much for watching this extra long video. I have changed my YouTube strategy slightly. I'm putting a lot more shorts up. And really, the stuff that I put up in a short is really what I feel passionate about, and I might put it up in a minute. It might be 30 seconds, 50 seconds, or a minute, no more than a minute, because you can't make your shorts any longer than that. And then doing one more in-depth video a week, because my members area has now reopened. I'm having to put a lot of focus on that, and you know, I'm really enjoying that, and it's a community area. By all means, go along there. I'll put a link below and just go and join. It's free. Don't have to pay anything, and there's about 200 modules in there, tons of specific person stuff, oh gosh, all sorts of different things, videos, written papers, all sorts of different things. And then there's a members hub, a forum where you can get advice and tips from other members, or you can put your story up, you can ask for advice, or give advice. And so I'm putting a lot of energy into that at the moment, because that is part of my business. But I still love YouTube, but I thought, you know, I just need to change it around, because I was very probably putting much more focus onto YouTube than on that. But I was a bit in limbo, because I was waiting for all of these changes to come about, because I have to wait for Jeremy to do those things for me. So so I was putting a lot of effort into YouTube, and not so much was going into the members area, but I've swapped it around now, so there'll be more effort going in there. I don't mean that here I won't be putting any effort, but what I mean is I won't be putting up like 4 videos a week like I have been doing. I just won't be doing that, but I will be putting up more video content inside the members area. So although there won't be 4 videos a week going up here, if you sign up for free to be a member, then there will be more videos going up there. So I will always be putting up more videos, but it'll be heavier there than I will be here. Right, that's it. I'm going to shut up now. Oh, one thing I do want to say, and I did mention this in my members area, specific person wise, if you haven't read, and I've not pushed this because I wrote it for fun in 2018, but I did it around specific person, and the whole premise of the book, Maddie starts at 13, she's 20 at the end of it, is manifestation, although she doesn't know what she's doing. But the thread throughout is this person, it's her best friend that she loses, and going on how she kind of doesn't manage to bring her back into her life until, I won't give anything away, but eventually something happens. And it kind of was going with this person theme of why can't we manifest these people into our lives? Why do we get stuck? And hopefully, I really think it's a real great self-help book, and I am starting to promote it now because I really want to write a sequel. Somebody mentioned that to me, God, why don't you write a sequel when she's older? And I thought, yeah, I could really revisit her. I'd love to revisit her. So I'm going to do that. So I thought I'm going to start pushing this a bit now because yes, I've written Get Back With Your Ex, and that will be really helpful to you too, but I don't know, there's something about this, because it's fiction based and because it's a story, I think you can really kind of I say this because I passed it on to a couple of people beginning of last week, and both of them have come back to me and said, oh my God, I really get it now. Oh my God, that was just such an eye-opener, seeing it as a story. So I am promoting it, and it's a link to it down below anyway, which has always been there. But yeah, you know, I'm silly not to, because really I wrote it with that in mind, and I just love the story, and I loved going back to my sort of, it's not me, she's not me by any stretch, but those teenage years and the kind of stuff that happens to you as you're growing up. You know, anyway, that's enough of the promotion. My son Harrison has a Law of Attraction channel that is listed here. I'm going to put his profile picture at the end so you can go and have a look. Loads of specific personal stuff on there. And just to let you know about Harry, about the sort of things he's manifested. He manifested, as I've put a video up here, an A-level course with 1 GCSE, which should be absolutely impossible in this country, but he did it. He manifested a modelling job because he decided, I want to try modelling. Well, he said, I want to be a model, because he went through this stage a few years back, he wanted it, and so he got an offer. He literally got somebody come to him on his Instagram channel, so he got it was like a short-term modelling contract. He didn't want to pursue it after that. He didn't enjoy it because he said, oh my God, I had to get changed in the cold and all of that. No, that wasn't for him at all, but he did it and it was awesome, and that was not that long after he said that. So, you know, you can have these crazy outlandish things that you think, where the hell would that come from? Like I said, he didn't even apply for any modelling jobs. He was just going, oh, I'd quite like to do that. Yeah, I'd like to try that. And he sort of felt it a bit like, yeah, that'd be cool, real desire for it, and thought, yeah, that might happen, because he's very much like that could happen. And it did. And when it happened, I was like, what the hell? You know, how the hell? But, you know, so really, if you go along to his channel, you hear the stuff he's saying and you think, really? Honestly, he's done it, he's experienced it, and he continues, honestly, he's a freelance video editor, he's 21, he's got his own business, and the things that he's filmed and done and edited, honestly, he's done all of this. So if you're younger, then I think you might really relate to him. I guess a lot of you have probably already looked at it and maybe are already subscribed to him, but he's also featuring quite a lot on my members area. So he goes into the hub, he chats and gives some advice. You can ask him anything in there, and his coaching is listed on my members area too, because he does half-an-hour sessions. I don't like to do half-an-hour sessions. I don't mind doing them with people that I've already seen once or twice, because I already know your story, but I find it very difficult I talk so much, you know, as you know, and I find it ever so difficult to cut a session down to half an hour, so I don't do them, but I will do them on request for a client I've already seen, where I already know the story. If they're just needing a little bit of help, I will do that. But Harry does it, and Harry has no problem with that at all, and he enjoys doing those half-an-hour sessions, so I've listed him there, so you can inquire about him there. What happens is, if you inquire with any of the people on my recommended list, and I don't get paid for any of the people that I have on there, they're just people that have brilliant services really related to this, that I know and I trust. Like, you know, I'd never pass you on to anybody that I didn't really know and really trust. And he's on that list. So if you inquire about anybody, it comes through to me. I send you out then some more information about them with the costings, so that you don't then have to go to them and feel like, oh, I don't want to pay that, whatever. So I just give you all of those details. And then, you know, if you really want to reach out to that person, I include the email address of that person. So then you deal directly with them. And like I said, I don't get any money from them. I don't want any money from them. They're really kind of offering me stuff, but I don't want it. I do it because people have asked me about those particular services. And I thought, well, there's no point in putting them outside of my site. I might as well keep it all on my site and give them people that I know will just be amazing for them, because they're all great at what they do. So that's what that is. I really need to stop. You can't stop me. I think because I'm doing one video a week now, it's just I try and get it all in one video. So apologies, zip it. Thank you so much for watching. I do offer Zoom coaching. See, I'm going again now. I'm so booked up at the moment, but I will offer you a date and a time if you come to me, but you need to be prepared to wait at least a month, and it's getting a bit longer than that actually at the moment. But I also offer email coaching, which is a 4-week course. Basically, it is completely informal. So what I'm saying with that is £65. In that 4 weeks, you can email me as much as you like, and I will come back to you every single time. So that's what that is. And I will come back to you in good time too. I won't keep you waiting. I will prioritise you. I only take between 5 and 6 email coaching clients at one time because I like to give everybody that attention. I also have paid members that send me messages through the Ask Evie section, so I have to be mindful of that. So you'll know that you'll get a really decent service with that. It's really cost effective for you. It works for me. There won't be such a wait for that. You'll probably be waiting a week before I could slot you in. But if you're really desperate and you can't wait that time for the Zoom coaching, then that might be something for you to consider. I also offer a one-off email coaching service, which is £15. You pay, you get a questionnaire come through, you fill it in, then I come back to you and I set you a plan of how to move forward from that point. And so you get a really long, detailed email back from me, and then off you go from that point. And I find that I sell a lot of those actually, and I think people find them really useful because they don't necessarily want ongoing coaching. They just stuck and they want to know, where do I need to go from here? So you just get pointed in the right direction. So there you go. I am stopping, really.